Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about what's new in the Xanadu release of ServiceNow surrounding CMDB and CSDM. My name is John McKay. I'm a technical consultant here at GlideFast Consulting. I have 6 years experience in the ServiceNow ecosystem, mainly with ITSM, HRSD, and ITOM. Now I'll pass it over to my colleague here and allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you, John. Hey, I'm Rachel Staunton. I'm an architect and service delivery manager here at GlideFast. I have 10 years experience working on the ServiceNow platform. I've worked in ITSM, but mainly in ITOM, CMDB, discovery, operational technology, and industrial process manager. So I'll just hand it back to you there, John.
All right, thanks, Rachel. So some of our key focus areas for today are going to be starting out with some dashboard transformations. So we're going to be talking about some new things around some updates and things like that to dashboards. After that, we'll get into some AI-powered insights. So we'll be talking to you all about some things with Now Assist and generative AI. And then after that, we'll discuss some updates to lifecycle data management. And then we'll close it out with some future outlook and deprecations. So jumping right in to the dashboard transformations. We have the CMDB Health Dashboard transformation. Here we have some key performance improvements. There is now a upper limit of 100,000 records for KPI metric failures. This is going to help to prevent excessive processing and improve the performance of this feature and, keep from bogging down the system and things like that. We also have some simplified and streamlined configurations and usage. So what they've done is done things like simplified data and concepts like the removal of the overall health score that was previously on the health dashboard. There are also now two distinct reporting sections for compliant versus non-compliant CIs on the dashboard. And then now we have the look and feel of the Next Experience UI for a better user experience. And one thing to note is that the health dashboard is now also integrated into the CMDB workspace. Next slide that we have is the CSDM data foundations dashboard. Here we have a configurable metric performance limit, similar to the KPI threshold on the health dashboard. This is going to give you basically you have a setting you can adjust for triggering the system to deactivate metrics that are captured by this threshold. And then the CIs within that threshold are also able to be tracked. We also have the ability to identify current and non-current metric data by checking the updated column in the CMDB list view. And that's where you'll be able to view that data. The Data Foundations dashboard also is taking advantage of the UI Builder configurable workspace. And it also incorporates some updates from CSDM 4.0. All right, and now I'm going to hand it off to Rachel for a demo of those dashboards and some of those new features.
Thank you, John. Looking at changes to CMDB and CSDM in Xanadu, we're going to navigate to the CMDB workspace. The idea here is to manage your CMDB within the workspace going forward. So we're here on the home page. I'm going to navigate down to the CI class list. And you'll see here it'll filter the list down by CI classes. So yeah, if I click into any of these, here's my list of servers. I can open up any one of these, and you'll see two widgets here, one highlighting timeline and one highlighting CI health. So if I add an update to this, you'll see it show up on the timeline, and it'll show me exactly when it was updated, but also what information was updated. The CI health widget will show me anything if it showed up on CMDB health dashboard metrics, if it's missing any recommended or required attributes, if it showed up on a duplicate, orphan, or staleness report, and if it is out of compliance. So navigating to the CMDB health dashboard, if I type CMDB health into my navigator, you'll see it'll start coming up. It's under configuration, CMDB health dashboard, and you'll see it looks a little different than previous releases. Class view is what used to be CMDB view. Another difference is it will not navigate you to the CMDB health dashboard. It'll navigate you to the workspace. So if we want to click into class view, you'll see here what the updated dashboard looks like. Just to navigate you through this page, you'll see here you have the class. You can change this to class view, where you can filter your configuration items. Health group view is where you can filter down by specific CMDB groups of type health that you've defined in your organization or in your system. And then service view, where you can break down by each individual type of service class. Just looking at these three tiles here, you'll see the numbers in the middle of the circle. These are the amount of CIs that were evaluated for this particular report based on your health inclusion rules. So we have 10% that are completely compliant, and we have in the red here the incomplete CIs. Scrolling down here, you'll see I don't have any metrics for missing required attributes. So all of this came from missing recommended attributes. And you'll see here it's broken down by class. They're all in the computer class in this case. And I can see it broken down by discovery source and by CI owner. Navigating over to the correctness scorecard, again, you'll see the number evaluated in the middle, the percentage of CIs that are correct, and also a breakdown again here, similarly to what we just saw before. We also have the three different tabs for our correctness scorecard, which is our duplicate CIs, our orphan CIs, and our stale CIs. Over here in the compliance section, similarly, we just have the audit section for whatever's been set for compliance rules. We have a number of different types of classes affected here. So if we click into one of these, it will bring us to the list view, and we can see the list of CIs that should be revised as part of this for anything that's out of compliance. So just to highlight a couple of other ways to get to the health dashboard from the home page, if you click into any of these metrics, they're interactive. They will bring you to the dashboard. And also on the management tab, you have the CMDB health link here. Just want to draw your attention as well to the CMDB health settings. As you can see, you've got the main page here, but in the schedule jobs, you now have 5 scorecard schedule jobs. The relationship jobs, which is the bottom 2 here, will be deactivated when you upgrade to Xanadu. So if you're still interested in relationship health, just remember to reactivate these jobs after you upgrade. There is a navigation to the health dashboard from the home page of CMDB Workspace, which I'll show you now here in a few minutes. I just want to cover the health metrics piece. So you'll see in health metrics, we're on the completeness CMDB health metric preference at the moment. You'll see there's no weighted averages anymore, and there's no overall scorecard either as we go through the list. So if I want to open up one of these here, this is for the recommended, you'll notice failure threshold is at 50,000. That's out of the box. For customers that have updated to 100,000 or more, just be aware when you're upgrading to Xanadu, your failure thresholds will be reduced down to 100,000 again, and that is for performance improvement. Navigating back to the home page of the workspace, if we want to go over to the management tab, we'll see over here we have access to the CSDM data foundations dashboard. There's been some improvements made to the data foundations metrics in order to improve performance. So if we want to go to the get well metrics for CSDM CMDB, user can set a runtime threshold in milliseconds for how long a job is allowed to run. If it reaches that threshold, the job will automatically fail. And you can also set a failure threshold count so that if it reaches that amount, the job will be deactivated and will have to be revised in order to reactivate. So that's everything from me. I'm just going to pass it back to John to continue with the presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, moving along. We're going to get into some AI-powered insights. The first that we're going to discuss here is the generative AI now assist for CMDB. CI summarization applied here. We have a detailed CI context and some discovery and class insights. These context and insights include things like record tallies that are related to the CIs, including incidents, alerts, and I think it's security vulnerabilities. And these are going to be populated directly on these CI forms. So you're able to get, that detailed summary and information right there on the configuration item form. Moving over to the right side of the slide, we have some duplicate CI management. So, if you have, worked in the CMDB, you know how messy and inaccurate duplicate CIs could make your environment. So with this new generative AI feature and skill from Now Assist, you basically are able to utilize AI to assist you in your duplicate management. So you have things like step-by-step deduplication. So basically, this generates tasks that basically guide you based on different responses that you give to Now Assist. And each of the choices that you are given just take you down a different path to remediating your duplicate CI records. The skill also gives you root cause analysis recommendations. So it has a root cause analysis feature to help prevent the future generation of duplicate CIs. So that's a really nice feature there. Like I said, if you ever ran into this, I'm sure a lot of people have. So next slide we have is using Now Assist for service graph connectors and using AI to diagnose things that may go wrong while setting up a service graph connector. So here, when we talk about Now Assist for service graph connectors, it's utilizing the generative AI to resolve different issues. It uses the skill, which is the service graph connector diagnosis skill, which basically allows you to troubleshoot failed import sets related to whatever your target service graph connector is. So if you're working with, integrations with Microsoft Intune or SCCM or things of that nature, you may have run into this issue, where your import set fails, and then you're kind of having to go through and dig and comb through and figure out what is actually causing this. Well, now Assist is kind of there to give you some help. It's able to automate different solutions, suggestions, and it also is able to analyze the import set data and diagnose those errors, and kind of give you some troubleshooting on the spot and some resolutions right then and there. Another neat feature as well, with them integrating and doing more with AI around the ITOMs and CMDB things. Next slide. We're going to pass it back to Rachel for her to discuss lifecycle data management.
Thank you, John. So there's changes made to improve the efficiency of lifecycle mapping in the Xanadu release. Xanadu facilitates an easier process to be able to enable the synchronization of lifecycle statuses between CIs and assets. One of the main changes is the removal of the synchronization between the CI legacy fields, and the synchronization remains between the legacy fields and the asset for lifecycle stage and status. These fields on the CI will be updated through the existing sync between assets and CIs in order to improve that consistency. Once you enable the lifecycle synchronization, any discrepancies between assets and CI lifecycle statuses are identified through a new discrepancy report. So administrators can then address the discrepancies by mapping the missing or inactive lifecycle rules, which will ensure data consistency.
Thanks, Rachel. All right. And for our final slide here, we're going to talk about the future outlook and some deprecations. Future outlook and deprecations. ServiceNow Xanadu has some strategic transitions here and some key deprecations. So in this release, the data certification plugin is being prepared for future deprecation. It will be hidden and not activated on new instances, but it will still be supported on instances that currently utilize it. So that's one to note. We also have the ServiceNow hosted version of Extra Hop Service Graph Connector is as of now deprecated and no longer supported. But there is a standalone Service Graph Connector for Extra Hop that is going to provide the latest experience that I'm sure you can find on the ServiceNow store. And then we have some legacy dashboards that are being deprecated. So if we look here to the right side of the slide, there's a note here that you can still access these legacy dashboards if you just go to self-service and dashboards. Your previously created bookmarks and this uh, navigation will take you to those dashboards. The legacy dashboards that are no longer supported are going to be the application service dashboard on the core UI, the CMDB integrations dashboard on the core UI, and the configuration item dashboard. So that's pretty much wraps up the deprecations. So just some important things to note there. These are some links here for anyone that want to dive in more and learn more about things in the Xanadu release, or just look at where we got some of our research and notes from. These are all the links. So feel free to follow these and to learn more. But with that said, thank you for taking the time to learn about what's new in Xanadu, CMDB and CSDM with Rachel and I. And we'll see you all soon. Thanks.